Shalom, shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Echad, Ba'ash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to all you sincere King. Yeah, so this is going to just be me going into a few various topics. Alright, I was supposed to do this on the Sabbath, but something came up and I couldn't even do it anymore. So I'm just going to go into this video right now, and it's already past the Sabbath, as you can see, after 9 here in Nigeria. So what I'm just going to do is just get a few topics, concerning things that happened over the week, maybe, and also this article I have right here going into quarantine camps. I don't want to say FEMA camps because FEMA is really only limited to Babylon, but it's in the same spirit of the FEMA camps in Babylon the Great. Alright, quarantine camps in Australia right now, and if you aren't keeping up with the news, you should know what is going on right now in Australia, which is basically the new world order. All right, the great reset. You go back to the past where Australia declared that they would be in the new world order. So right now they are monitoring their citizens, forcing vaccine mandates heavily in that country. So basically, what's happening is I'm just going to go a little bit into this article. So even going into the fact that they are building, more quarantine camps in Australia, which of course is a part of prophecy, right? Because it's going to be a place, these prisons that Esau will set up to keep all those that are against his great reset, his new world order, especially we that are in this truth. So let me just get into this article and read. Despite some states tentatively beginning to lift lockdown restrictions, Australian authorities are building quarantine camps that won't be completed until next year in order to prepare for ongoing operations and to house those who have not had access to the stab and jab. According to ABC Australia, one such 1,000-bed quarantine facility at Wellcamp Airport outside Toowoomba will be fully completed by the end of March 2022. At this stage, the cabins will be used by domestic travelers returning from the infection hotspot, states the report. However, it also makes clear that the camp will be used for ongoing operations and will be a source of employment for the local area. So basically, what you have here is the reason why they created these camps is to house those that may have not yet been able to get the stab and jab, and basically quarantine them while they check for their symptoms, or while they decide whether they want the stab and jab or not. Or you already know these are the kind of terminologies that Esau uses, man. So this is what this devil does. He will not reveal his true intention, but rather make it seem as though he's doing it for the benefit of the people. Kind of like how this whole matter of the infection started when Esau was tricking people into believing that okay, the staffs are good for you, the staffs are good for you, and the staffs can do this, it can do that. But we already see what the situation of those staffs actually are, those waters, what they actually can do. How we were talking about how we need to reach, how Esau was talking about how they need to reach quote unquote herd immunity, or how they were talking about how there would never be, mandates. All right, the government will never make mandates for the waters, but yet here we are in this time. But when I was reading this article and it was going into how these camps will be ready by next year, I was just thinking that okay, so they're preparing these camps not for the stab and jab, rather for the 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 charagma, the apocalypto 13, the 13, when it actually comes through. All right, because when that actually starts or begins to happen, when the charagma actually begins to be implemented, that's when you see Esau really show his horns, really show his fangs, and really bring down these workers. Really bring down, give the you people out here in the world the work as the devil that he truly is. So let me get this precept in the book of Revelations, the second chapter, maybe the 10th verse. That because that many of people will be thrown into, many of us that are in this truth will be thrown into these camps, man, will be put in these camps, which are basically prison houses, okay, where those that are against Esau's new world or the Esau's system are going to be placed in and possibly even executed. So this is the book of Revelation 2 verse 10, and it reads, Fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And that's right, okay. So, no matter what these devils do, no prison, no torture, no threatenings, no evil that these devils or hell that these devils will put on us that can make us to betray the trust of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, buckle up, kill over, and take this stab, okay? Because you have a lot of jigs out here that have sold out, that he just put a little bit of a fire under their ass and they just gave up, right? Because majority of our people don't even know what is going on. And that leads me to another topic right there. But I think I'm just going to, get a few more precepts concerning this matter before I go into another topic, because right now, prophecy going forth and with everything that is happening on the earth, man, and but there's the I know right now, man, I'm just thinking that the most high is really pulling, is really pulling these strings like tight, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is doing amazing work on this earth, I just finished watching a brother's video how he was going into North Korea building bigger missiles. They are building better missiles. They are improving on their missile technology. Even to the point where they were making missiles that were hard for that are harder to intercept with anti surface to air missile, anti anti missile defense systems and anti missile missiles, that kind of thing. How all these nations are preparing for war, improving their technology, sharpening their spears. And just thinking, man, that the Most High is really getting, is really lighting a fire on Babylon's ass, because we know that all those nukes that are being prepared, all those nukes in North Korea, that's their president Kim Jong, whatever his name is making, they are all for Babylon the Great, because all those missiles from all the four corners of the earth will be fired on Babylon the Great. Right, and I was going into lesson previously about how many nations are actually nuclear capable. All right, according to 2021, and just very few of them, of the top of my head. All right, Babylon, Russia, India, or the Pakistan, Slovakia, um, North Korea, China, France, I believe England as well. I'm not really going to go into it right now, but basically that's what's going on the earth right now. The Most High is preparing these nations for war, and everybody's preparing for war. And that's something that's that's basically the speed that's on the earth right now. You know how before, two dudes that want to get in a fight, before they get in a fight, they start flexing their muscles. They're going, what's up, what's up, what's up? Everybody, that they're gearing up, they're getting in their red stances for the actual battle. Throwing a little bit of trash talk here and there. That's basically what is happening on the earth right now. These nations are getting ready for wars. What are they doing? They are flexing their military might. They are doing live tests of their weapons, drills. What's what I'm looking for? Basically, they're basically military exercises, showing what they are capable of, showing what to their enemies what they are actually capable of. So that, they don't want this to, because they're basically they're basically telling because these nations, and what I'm mainly speaking about is China, Taiwan, Japan, these Asian countries, Iran, Pakistan, all right, and of course the state of Israel. What they're basically doing right now is they're showing off their military might, basically saying to their enemies, okay, we don't want this smoke. So that's what they are seeing happening on the earth right now. The nations are getting ready for World War III, and the Most High is rousing that spirit of war on the earth. All right, and pretty soon, all hell is going to break loose, man. Just like that, it's going to come out of nowhere. Jacob's trouble will hit, World War III will hit. Now we'll see all hell break loose all over the earth. That's basically what we are waiting for. That's basically what we're waiting for. What we're preparing for. That exact situation where the World War III will take place, and all the nations will be against each other, and eventually against Babylon the Great. All right, because the Most High is gathering these nations, making them to gather their army, making them to create their stronger weapons for their war, the weapons of war, all in order to fight in that war so that he can destroy them and his power can be shown. All right. So now what I want to get is, the book of Second Esdras, because this is for the past year, for the past what, it's been 2 years now, going to 2019 to 2020, or even up to now 2021. This has been a precept that has been coming out a lot. Second Esdras, the 15th chapter. All right, that's basically, let me get, so let me look what the one I want to get. Okay. So here it is. Second Esdras 15 verse 14, and it reads, Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand and up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's right, okay, because the end is near, and the end is going to be with brought by with the sword, not just the sword of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, but also the sword of Esau Edom and these other nations, because even Yahushua said it himself that he is coming to bring a fire on the earth, and what will he do if that fire be already kindled? Because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua isn't going to come back to a world that is completely peaceful or completely without war or conflict. It's going to come back when all hell is breaking loose on the earth. All right. Jacob's trouble has started. There's civil war, martial law, shutdowns, everything, shutdowns, all hell breaking loose on the earth. What we always speak about when we go into the scriptures, the military invading houses, taking people out of the houses, those complete utter chaos and anarchy all over the earth. That is when our Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to come back, because what the scriptures say, woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. To what end is it? It is darkness and not even light. Deep darkness, man, because they're just going to be jumping from trouble to trouble. I know what. Let me have to get that preset. So yeah, let me just bring it out, because there's something I wanted to get. There's something I want to actually get in it. So let me just get it. Here it is, Amos 5, verse 18, and it reads, Woe unto you that desire the day of your Yahweh, to what end is it for you? The day of your Yahweh is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into a house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent beat him. And that's basically what I wanted to get me. I was going to be jumping from frying pan to fire, from crisis to crisis. You escape one thing, and then the Most High sends another thing up against you. You escape that, and the Most High sends another thing up onto the point where you meet the missiles. Okay, because you might think that, oh, let me just survive Jacob's trouble and I'll be straight. I'll survive Jacob's trouble and I'll be good. At the end of the day, what are you going to do about the missiles, right? Because if you're not of the elect, there is no way they are going to be safe from all the hell that's about to break loose, and what the Most High is about to bring upon the earth. All right, not just war, not just famine, not just pestilence, but a whole slew of different things. Because it's not just going to be one thing that's going to be happening during that time, but multiple things coming together to form the day of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. All kinds of death and destruction, all kinds of hell breaking loose, all kinds of evil being brought out upon the earth. Yeah, that's the perfect word to use. It's going to be a day of evil, man, a day of wrath of the Most High. So it's going to send out the judgment is going to flow like rivers. All right. So let me bring out some more precepts. And all right, so Second Esdras 15 verse 17 now. Second Esdras 15 verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cause of their action shall stand in their power. And that's basically what it means. What anarchy means. When the people stop, when the people stop obeying the authority, the powers that be. This is already happening in a low level, because right now, what is going on that is set up, especially up in Babylon, with creepy Joe Biden, he has set up these rulers that cannot actually even rule, set up rulers that aren't even, cannot hold the power, they cannot hold authority or see why the people, because right now everybody is against the leader of Babylon the Great, that Joe Biden, because of basically the kind of basically because of who he is, man. Not only is he unfit to hold that position of presidency, but he's also an Edomite, man, a devil, unrighteous as he is, and all these different crimes and his iniquities have been exposed for the whole world to see. And it's funny because you Israelites voted him in, even though he's a complete devil, and now he has bare his horns, and he has put you Israelites, like you Israelites are no better than when you fed than even before he was the president. In fact, it has even gotten worse because he's slowly bringing the destruction of Babylon the Great. All right, so continuing, I'm not going to stop it right there. All right, I think I think I'm not going to stop it right there. Not really much to go into concerning that. All right, so back to what I was saying, concerning the camps that are being set up, and this is a global affair. All right, not just in Babylon the Great. We also have camps being set up in other countries, in other places all over the earth. And I remember, that they were during the time of the infection, when it was at its height in Nigeria, they were building these isolation centers, all right, which of course could be repurposed and used as these prison camps as well. For the people who don't want to receive the MOTB, or don't want to receive, or rather, instead of saying MOTB, I should say that I don't want to receive Esau's New World Order, because that's basically what it means to reject the Charagma. Right, you're rejecting this devil's new world order, this devil's new world agenda that he's trying to push all over the earth. All right, so basically, back to what I was, and another thing I wanted to mention was, out here, especially in Nigeria, and the way Jake is, a lot of people here don't really know what is going on, because I remember, right, today I had to go, right, I had to go, I had to go for training, okay. That's the training for this new job that I wanted to start out. So basically, while I was there, you had these women, man, these women, all right, they were talking about how they had gotten the stab, and how had gotten a fever from getting that stab. Basically they're calling it is the fever from the stab. The stab and the old stab and jab, and I was just sitting there thinking that these people out there, these are people, these Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You really don't know anything. You don't know what is going on the earth. You don't know about Esau and his agenda, especially JK in Nigeria, man. Jake doesn't even care about all that. You have these, they have these dudes, that these men that are doing the training with me. They're talking about how they want to just leave Nigeria and travel to Babylon the Great, there they can get job, land of opportunity, the golden city, that kind of thing. And you have a lot of people that still have that mindset that, oh, Babylon the Great is the golden city. Let me, flow. They flock to that nation, deal with our fornications, the wickedness going on there, the doctrines, the philosophies, and all that. But I was trying to explain to them how there is no need. You shouldn't even bother. You shouldn't even bother going to Babylon the Great, or even bother traveling at this point, because the earth is already done. This place is already through. But now it is, man. Jake just can't get it. Or rather, Jake just refuses to get it, man, because these people, they don't see what is going on the earth. They don't see the signs. They don't see the signs and the prophecies going on the earth. All they see is, well, their usual nigger shit, man, because our people just aren't ready to repent. They aren't ready to leave this kingdom, because to them, Esau Edom is their God. Okay, it's not Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. They're not ready to submit to Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua, which is why I mentioned that, because I was going to go into how our people are not ready to submit to Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. So let me get this preset in the book of Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6, and it reads, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. And that's basically what's going on the earth with two-thirds of our people. They have completely abandoned, rejected, and forgotten Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and they're not even trying to remember, all right? And I also have to mention this, the brother from Italy, Yaraya, all right? He actually did a response to one of my the camp video that I did this past week, where I was getting into it with these with these older jigs that were trying to explain the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to them, and they just didn't want to get them because that's basically the state that our people are in, stiff necked as hell. They're not trying to get this word, they're not trying to get this understanding, okay? We go out to the highways and byways, they try to explain to Jake what's going on the earth, but Jake isn't trying to hear it because they just want to live their own lives without having to submit to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, without having to, remember, without having to get right with the Most High and His Son, because they don't want to be in that spirit, okay? And that's the state of our people right now. And that's why we are still going through the courses and we're still going through what we are going through, because you have a majority of our people that just refuse to come back to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, that just refuse to repent, and that want to continue following Esau. They trust in Egypt, right? That's basically what it is. These people out here, they trust in Egypt, they fear Esau Edom, they respect, they put Esau Edom in a higher pedestal than our power, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. They think that, oh, Esau is the end all be all, he's the one that can do and undo, but they don't understand that that power to do and undo, that power to create and destroy, to do all these miracles and perform all these wondrous works, is only for Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And Esau, is just a man and can do nothing, all right? He is just a man. But our people don't get that. They are not in that mind state. Basically, they've been blinded by the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, so they can't even see this truth. It comes into, and when you have conversations with people in the world, it really just gets depressing, and it really just gets depressing, man, because you realize just how far people are falling, just how stupid they are, and just what the kind of things that they're actually thinking about. In your mind, you're thinking about how to get, if you're in this street, of course, you're thinking about how to get closer to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, praying for this place to be destroyed so you can get the hell out of here. But the people in the world, they're always talking about some, they're focusing on all the, all the vanities and the things that are in this world, many things that are soon to be destroyed. All right, that I was trying to have a conversation with some people in the world recently. Just not really a good storyteller, so you have to bear with me if I don't really, it doesn't really make sense, because what it is that, sometimes I used to go out and play basketball. I'm really, 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 enjoy playing basketball, man. But of course, how it is, man. This street is number one, all right, and everything else is not even a close second. So basically, now I was talking to the people in the world, and they're talking about the NBA, and they're talking about how, the Brooklyn Nets. If you know the story, how, they're going to have Kyrie, Harden, all right, KD, and how they're going to be big this year. But I'm thinking, isn't Kyrie against the jab? What about that? But they don't even mention it. They're not even considering that, how these NBA players are being forced to take the jab, to take the stab and jab, just in order to play their games. But nobody is thinking about that. And jab that up, and this is just me speaking as a man, but I believe that a lot of, those people on my court have already been jabbed. They're taking the stab and jab already, which is actually, right now they are bringing out what this the second and third dose, and even getting the boosters ready. So yes, so it's basically a revolving door. You've taken the stab and jab once, you're still going to go back to get it, okay? And you're still thinking about, moving to different, and Jake is still thinking about how they can make it in this world, how they can be rich, and how what they can do to make it in this world. And let me get this precept real quick. All right, in the book of First Maccabees, basically what people are thinking about is what, let come and let us make a conference. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. You know what? instead of quoting it, let me just say it, okay? First Maccabees 1 verse 11, and it reads, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. That's basically what our people are doing. Man. They want to make a covenant with the heathen, want to follow their ways, obey their laws, statutes, and commandments, and do follow their doctrines in order to you know enrich themselves, so to speak. With these worldly gains. All right. And that's how people fell. That's how our people fell out and became Hellenized. They became Gentiles because they followed the ways of the heathen. All right, and that's why right now Jake is always engrossed in all these heathen customs. With Wakitaki Christianity, right? With the various customs that the heathen have put in the heads of our people, which have separated us from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Because what does scripture say? That our sins have separated us from our sins have separated us from the Most High and His Son. And the Most High, let me get that precept. I've forgotten how it goes. Such a just hold on. Let me just think about it a little bit. Okay, yeah, because we drove the Most High to anger. Yeah, I've forgotten how the precept goes. Basically, it goes something a little bit like that's hey, we are sold to the nations. That's what I was looking for. That's the episode I was thinking about. I was sold to the nations not because. So this is it right here. Baruch 4 verse 6, and it reads, "You are sold to the nations not for your destruction, but because ye moved the Most High to wrath. You are delivered unto the enemies. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High. Ye have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you." And that's basically what you people are doing by accepting or taking this stab, by dealing with by accepting this stab, by following Esau Edom and his doctrines and his philosophies. The devil himself, okay, he sacrificed unto devils, and the devil that he's speaking about is none other than Esau Edom and all these other idols that our people get involved in. But mainly, okay, because majority of our people are into Wakitake Christianity, which the gods of Wakitake Christianity, which I was trying to explain, to those jakes, that individual in camp are Edomites, right? Because the Most High and His Son are so-called dark fleshed people, right? Israelites. They have, the dark flesh, the woolly hair, and everything else that characterizes or separates us from these, from these Edomites, man. There's specifically and especially, the dark brown skin and the woolly hair, because we are not people, we are not the people of leprosy. We're not the people with with our skin wasted away, our hair wasted away, everything about us, with the blood showing forth through our skin, like these Edomites are. All right, but Jake is in that state where he wants to have, or he wants to be in that position, both spiritually and both spiritually and physically unclean, just like Esau Edom. Because what is Esau? He's a profane, individual. Okay, outside of the temple, and the scripture says that lest there be any fornicator or profane person such as Esau Edom, for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Right? That's basically what it is, man. Because the Most High already made Esau Edom to be the wicked, put him off and outside of the temple, and removed him from, and basically made him to, basically made him solely to destroy him. And that's why he put that mark of leprosy on him, on the whole earth, so that everybody would know who this devil truly was and what this devil is. Okay, the people that are cursed from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because that's what that leprosy is. It's a curse from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai on you devils, man. Alright, so yeah, I just wanted to just go into a few things, just spitball, just bring out some information. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Recha, Kodash, Wa, Abad, Babal, and through the Spirit, I hope you Akim, you Akwata edified. Shalom.